Hello fashion lovers, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. So today I'll be teaching you guys how to go about this Ankara gown that has lace, or let me say net, the at the upper side and at the down part of it. Okay, so stay tuned and let's go into the details already. Okay guys, so right here I already have the normal basic bodice that I need for this tutorial, and at the upper line, that's the edge, the beginning of the place, I'm going to be using it as my shoulder. So from that place you have your chest line. After your chest line, the next line is your breast point line. Okay, I used 9 inches for my chest line. So after breast point line, you get your under bust, and then your half length or your waist line. Okay, so anyone you want to call it. So having done with this, the next thing we'll be doing now is to get our shoulder divided by 2 inches, and then you add half an inch for sewing allowance. You guys know how I do this already. So that same shoulder measurement, that's what you're going to get at your chest line for now, so that you can just line it up, and then you go down with 1 inches at the shoulder. So for the round neck, I'm using 3 3 for the round neck, normal round neck, that's 3 3. Okay, so I'm connecting these 1 inches that I came down with at the shoulder to my neckline. Okay, so find the middle of your armpit, that's the round armhole. Find the midpoint of it and then go in with half an inch. So on this chest line now, I'm going to divide my bust circumference by 4, and then add, okay, for now I'm not going to be adding any allowance, but you can just add any 3 inches allowance if you want to add your allowance. Okay, after that you just join it all together from the half inches that you have at the shoulder to the half inches you took in at the midpoint of your armhole, and then to the last of, that's the chest line. So connect the 3 of them together and also draft your neckline. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to find our nipple to nipple, that's your bust span divided by 2. Okay, so mine is 7, divided by 2 is going to be 3.5. Then you add half an inch to it. So that bust span, you're just going to be marking it on your breast point line and also down to the waist line. Okay, on these 3 lines, that's where you'll be having the bust span line. Okay, so on the outer one you mark 1 inches, and then on the one that is inside, that's the side of your bust, is going to be 2 inches. Okay, I hope you guys understand. So now I'll be connecting it to the breast point line. From the under bust, I'll connect it to that bust span that we have at the breast point line. Okay, just as I'm doing now, so you look carefully, watch carefully, and learn how I'm doing mine, so you can also go ahead and do yours like that. So right now I'll also go ahead and then connect it upwards to the midpoint of my armhole. That's that armhole we have. I'm going to connect it to that midpoint. And this dart that we have at okay, the dart we have in the middle is going to also be going out. We will not be using that dart anymore. Okay, so we are going to take that one out. That's why I added 3 inches at the bust, at the chest line. Then once you're done with that, the next thing you'll be doing is to now add your body circumferences. All right, So divide your body circumference by 4, and then you add these 3 inches we are taking out, because it's a total of 3 inches, and also your sewing allowance. Me, I use 2.5 inches for my sewing allowance, so you can as well use 2.5 inches for your sewing allowance, or you use 2 inches. So which will be total of, if you're using 2 inches, it's going to be total of 5 inches for the total allowance of 5 inches. But then if you're using 2.5, it's going to be a total of 5.5 inches. All right, that's 3 inches that we are taking out plus the extra 2.5 or 2 inches that you're using. Okay, I hope this is clear enough. And right now you can see that I'm done with the normal drafting. This is a normal drafting for princess dart. So if you're finding it hard to draft your princess dart, this is how you can draft your princess dart. And I also used 1.5 inches for my allowance. This is just the half length of a top. Okay, you can now go ahead and cut out your fabric, the pattern paper. All right, then you also use it to, we are still going to add a dart at the side so that it will rhyme with the back, because the back half length and the front half length, they are not the same. So I'll still go ahead and add a dart so that both of them can actually be the same, okay, when you're sewing. So with this, now we'll now go over to the back. Let me draft the back. So guys, the back is very simple. Add 1 inches allowance for your zip. That's the first thing you're going to be doing at the extreme. After that, you now add your lines, your basic body lines. So you go ahead, divide your shoulder by 2 and add 0.5 inches for sewing allowance. Then you draw your shoulder line and also add up your, divide your body circumferences and also add allowance. For the back, I added just 2 inches allowance at the back. Okay, so, and in this fabric, my half length for the front is 17.5, while that of the back is 16.5. So that's 1 inches. The back is shorter with 1 inches. So for the back neckline, I'm using 1 and 3 inches. All right, 1 and 3 inches. That's for the back neckline. Okay, so after these things, now you go ahead and cut it out, because most of these things are the things we've already done in the front pattern. So, and also mind you that you will be slanting the back of your the pattern, that's the zip allowance side, so that you avoid zip locks. Okay, and after slanting, it is not just slanting though, you're also going to remove 1/2 inch from the down part of it. So you all know that we are making an off shoulder top. The gown is actually an off shoulder, so I will be minusing 7.5 from the top. So place your tape from the top here. Right here, you are free to do any amount you want. If you want to go down as much as 8 inches, you're free to do 8 inches. Okay, so me, I'm using 7.5. If you want to do 6, if you want to do 5, if you want to do 4, any inches you want to go with, you're free to go with that. Okay, so now that we are done drafting the back, you guys remember I told you guys that the front is a bit short, is 1 inch shorter than the back. I'm now going to remove that from the side of it so that both of them will be the same. Okay, you can see what I did. I did 1/2 inches on the both lines of that breast point line, 1/2 inch both up and down. So don't cut your own, please don't cut it off. I actually made a little mistake here. I wanted to put it up, but then just fold it and then pull it up. I have to use sellotape to hold mine later on. So fold it and push it upwards. All right, so you all can see what I did here. I have to go back and hold it with my sellotape. So fold the 1/2 inches, that is the last 1/2 inches you have, the one that is at the down, fold it upwards to meet the one at the top. Okay, then when you fold it, you can see that the both of them are now the same length. Okay, so every other side is going to be the same. So you're not going to be folding any other side, only that 1/2 inches place, that place you have your 1/2 inches, that's where you're going to be folding. So that's how your fabric is going to be, your pattern is going to be when you're cutting on the fabric. All right, so once you're done with that, go ahead and cut out the pattern paper. All right, but please don't cut the 1/2 inches yet, because we're going to be using this to to cut out that lace, okay, so that we'll not have to start drafting again. So we'll use this same pattern paper now to cut the lace and also the main fabric. So right here you can see what I told you guys earlier, that I'm going to take out half an inch from the down part of this upper of the half length. So just take out half an inch from there, connect it to the side, okay, to the edge, connect it, and then you cut it out. Okay guys, so please listen carefully here. When I was recording this, my phone wasn't recording, and I didn't even know, I wasn't aware of it. So right here I'm going to explain exactly what I did. Okay, so you're going to get that your pattern paper for the back. That's what I used to get both the front and the back. So that was before I have to cut it off. So for the lace is going to stop at 13 inches. That's where I wanted my lace to stop. That's on the under bust. So which means instead of cutting it full, I have to just stop at 13 inches. You can see where I stopped, the place I folded the pattern paper, that's where I stopped. And I also had to put my zip allowance and everything. So the paper was open like that, just that the length is not the same length with the paper. All right, so for the front I have to fold my zip allowance in, because this is the front, it's not going to have any zip allowance. I have to fold it in and also add some allowance by the side, because the front is always sometimes bigger than the back. So I had to just add some allowance by the side, which I'm still going to do away with. That's once I get what I want. Okay, when attaching it, any excesses that I still have, I'm going to just do away with it. But instead of not having enough material for what I want to do, it's better you just have them and then cut them out. Okay, so then I went ahead to start cutting the fabrics, that with the pattern paper. Okay, so go ahead and cut out your fabric. Also cut here your hairstay, your wadding, your anything you're using at all, because me, I will not be using any hairstay or wadding on this, or even breast cup. This is just basically for the tutorial. All right, so anything you want to place both on the lining and also on the material, you are free to do that now. That's now that you've cut out the fabrics already. Then for the down part, I already done that. It's just your normal skirt part, the normal way you cut your skirt when you're cutting a normal skirt. That's just the way you're going to cut it out. You minus your half length from the top. So if your half length is 15 inches, you take away 15 inches from the top, and then you get the full length where you want the Ankara material to stop, because you're still going to add something else. All right, so you mark where you want it to stop. I added 1 inches to it, so my lining as well is also 1 inches shorter than the main fabric. All right, so which means the lace is going to be stopping at 40 something. Okay, so this is just it. So when you minus your half length, after minusing your half length, you mark it. So from that place that you marked, that's the place that is going to be your waistline. Okay, so now you bring down your tape. Once you're done with that, you bring down your tape to that place that you marked earlier. And also, just to get your hip line, the hip line, I used 9 inches for the hip line. So use your 9 inches for the hip line, then divide your circumferences by 4, and then add 2 inches allowance. That is it for the down part. And at the back of it, you're going to be adding your zip allowance. So that is just it. It's very simple, the normal way you cut your skirt. So now I'm going to go ahead over to the sewing machine, and then I will be turning over. After turning over, you top stitch. Okay, just the same way I did at that Ankara gown that has sequins on it. So if you not know how to do this, I think I made a very clear explanation on how to go about turning your skirt with a lining there. You can go back to the video and see it. So I'll just go ahead, turn over this, top stitch over to the lining side, and then I'll also turn over the other sides. So guys, you've seen what I told you guys. I'm done with that, and I also went ahead to iron. Okay, so right now I'll be adding my dart for the back because we're going to be adding that. So we'll be adding the dart for the back. And for the dart, we'll be using the 4.5 inches and also 6 inches downwards. And then from your zip allowance side, you mark 4.5 inches. Okay, from your zip allowance side, you mark 4.5 inches, and then downwards you're going to be marking 6 inches. You now take out half an inch, just like this, the way I marked this shock now. So you do the same thing for the both sides of the back. So right here, if you look carefully, you can see that I'm already done joining everything together, but I'm still going to open it up a bit so that I can add the lace at the down part. Okay guys, so I'm going ahead to cut out the lace. All right, so you are going to place your lace and then you fold this fabric. For now, I'm using from the top of this skirt, I'm doing 6 inches. That's where the lace is going to start from. Okay, but I'm still going to trim it out. Okay, but if you do not want to trim your own out, your lace should start from 9 inches. Okay, that's extra 3 inches. But mine, I'm still going to trim my own, cut it out. When I say if you're not going to trim your own out, if you just want your own to be straight, because when you look at my own, it's a bit curvy, up down, up down, up down. It's not straight. Okay, if you want your own to be straight, it should start at 9 inches. All right, so mine is going to be starting at 6 inches, and then I'm now going to trace it to wherever I want the length to stop at. Okay, to wherever I want the length to stop at. I'm using a total of 46 inches here. So I'm still going to now trace it out to wherever I want the length to stop. I hope you guys understand this, but if you do not understand, you're very free to drop a comment at the comment section. Drop your question at the comment section. Okay, I'll attend to them. So this is it. I'll now from this skirt part cut this trim the lace out. Okay, and then I'll attach it on top of the Ankara. So please, if this is confusing for you, you should just calm down and try to understand it. But if you can't, don't forget to drop your question at the comment section. Okay, I just hope this is clear enough that you guys don't get confused here. So this is it now for the front. I'm also going to go ahead and cut for the back. All right, so when I say I'm going to be trimming my out, the fabric I'm using is lace, so I was trying to just cut out something that, the flower shapes, something like that. So if you don't want to do yours like this, if you want yours to be just straight, you do 9 inches, because it's supposed to start from 9 inches or 8 inches either. So guys, the same thing I did for the front, I also go ahead and do it for the back. Okay, also go ahead and do it for the back. Make sure that the length, if you're using 46 inches, that the length are the same, with like the front length and the back length. Make sure that the both of them are the same. All right, before you start cutting. So guys, like right now you can see that I'm done stitching the both of them on the two edges, on the two sides. Okay, I'll now start to trim it off the way I want to. Okay, I've done the other part. I'm just showing you guys this part before I go ahead to stitch on it. So I'll just have to start trimming it out the way I want to. But you are free to do anything. If you want to do it like this, you're free to. If you don't want to do it like this, you're also free to not to do it like this, to make it straight. Anything you want to do, just be free. Okay, be creative. If you want to slant it to one side, totally your choice. Okay, so after doing this, now you go ahead over to your sewing machine and then sew on it, you stitch on it just for you to hold on the fabric. All right, and when I'm done stitching on it, I'll go ahead and also reclose the zip allowance side, that place that is open now. I have to reclose it and then open only where I'll be adding my zip. Okay, so once you close up that side, you also go ahead and then add it up with your body measurement. Okay, so this is the result of the down part. This is just the result of it. We'll be moving over to the front right now, to the upper part. Okay, remember to attach your slit. That's if you want slit, you attach your slit as well. Okay guys, so over here now we'll be working with the back piece first. So for the back piece, I'm going to place the lining on top of it. Okay, go ahead and turn it over, sew on it, turn it over, and then top stitch over to the lining side, close up every other part, and then open from the down. You're opening from the down part. Okay, then once you're done opening it, you have to go ahead and attach your dart. So right now for the dart, we'll be using 4.5 inches normal, the same 4.5 inches we are using before. So I'll have to go ahead and sew it straight up all over that place. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for the other parts. So right here, I'm done with all that. I'm now going to go ahead and attach the lace on it. Okay, so when you bring your lace, you place your lace. You guys remember we removed 1.5 inches earlier on the Ankara fabric. So right now the Ankara should be starting from 8 inches on the lace. Okay, so from the top you're going to measure it. The Ankara should start from 8 inches on the lace downwards. Okay, so right here you can see that I've already gone ahead to and attached the lace on it. I've attached it. I also went ahead to sew on the lace, that's holding it together with the Ankara fabric. So just do the same thing with yours. Okay, so now I'll be moving over to the front. Go ahead, go over to your sewing machine and add the side of the front to the center. Okay, add the both sides together. That's that of the Ankara and that of the lining. Okay, add both of them together differently. All right, okay, so this is what we have here. And if you're using wording on yours, if you're making for a client, of course you should use a wording on it or a breast cup. So which means after attaching it, you now have to go ahead and open up these areas with your iron. Okay, iron it out. All right, so if you're using a breast cup, the breast cup, you'll be attaching it on your lining, but I think you should attach it when you're done cutting this thing out, because you know you're making an off shoulder. So we'll now go ahead and cut out 7 inches on the front. This is the front part. Okay, and we've not cut it out yet, so I'm cutting out 7 inches here. All right, I did 7 inches. I don't want it to go so down, like I don't want it to go more down, so I stopped at 7 inches. You are also free to do your choice, like go with 5 or 4 or 6 inches or 7 as well, or 8 inches. Any inches you want to go with, you're free to go with it. Okay, so if you're using a breast cup, I think it's advisable for you to now attach your breast cup now. That's after cutting your lining out. You can just go ahead and attach the breast cup. So after attaching the breast cup, you can now go over to your sewing machine and turn over. Okay, you stitch on the upper part of your fabric, turn it over to the lining side, top stitch to the lining side, close up every other side, and then you open from the down. All right, so the next thing we'll be doing now is to attach the lace. Okay, so now I'm going to be putting the lace on top of it, so which means I'm starting from 7.5, because we we took in half an inch. That's for the when we were turning it over. We took in half an inch. We did 7 inches and then we took in half an inch, so which means it's going to be a total of 7.5 inches. So the Ankara is going to be starting at 7.5 inches on the lace. All right, so you just go ahead, use your office pin to hold it down so that it will not be moving around, because it will keep moving around. So right here you have to just be careful. Okay, just be careful with it when you are attaching it. And then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and sew on it. Once you're done getting the exact 7.5 inches, you go ahead and start sewing on it. Okay, so just be careful, because if you're using a lace that is very slippery, it will just be moving around. So you have to just hold it down with your pin and sew on it carefully. Okay, I'll still be attaching some darts under the bust area. Okay guys, so I would like you guys to pay close attention to this place. If you look, I have to add half inches allowance, that I mean not allowance, I have to add that at the under bust of the lace. That's just immediately, like at that under bust area, I have to just hold it down. That place I added the two Ankara fabrics. I have to also go ahead and add some dart there. So any allowance that you have coming up there, you just have to hold it there, because the bust area is not straight, so you have to add allowance there for it to balance, a dart there for it to balance. All right, so also go ahead and add a dart at the under bust. Okay, for it to balance, add it inside, and then you cut it off, trim it off before you stitch on top of the lace. All right. Okay guys, so right here you can see that I'm done already and it's wrapping perfectly, and the dart I have to put was just, the length was just highest 2 inches. Okay, it shouldn't exceed 2 inches. So after that, you go ahead and hold the shoulders together. Hold your shoulders, and for the round neck I'll be folding it with my fabric. That's the Ankara fabric. I want to use the Ankara fabric too, so I'll be using the Ankara fabric to fold it. Okay, to fold the round neck. And right here you can see that I'm done with the round neck. So the next thing you'll be doing now is to attach your sleeve. Okay, and for the sleeve you can just go ahead and hem the down part of your sleeve, or you use a scallopy at the down part of it. Okay, or you still go ahead and trim it. So from the midpoint of the sleeve to the midpoint of the shoulder, that's the shoulder, so you just join the two sleeves together. I've gone ahead to do that. Okay, and also went ahead to hem the sleeve. So now I'll have to go and join the fabric together with the measurement. Okay, I have to join it together with the measurement. So now I am done with that. I have to open up the zip allowance side that I've been closing since. Open it up and then find the midpoint of the front, that's the upper part, and also the midpoint of the skirt part, that's the front of it. Okay, when you find the both midpoints, join them together and then you sew on it together. You can as well join it straight up like this if you want to, but I don't want to do that, because if the person eventually comes, that's if he's a customer and she comes and then you be like, and she be like she wants to reduce or tighten it, you have to start opening it up again. So I think that is very stressful. So for me, I'll just have to go ahead, open up the sides a bit, just very little, attach the front differently, attach the two back differently, and then you go back again and join it from the top. Okay, just that place that is open by the two sides, you close it up again. All right, I hope you understand. Go ahead, close it up again, and after that you attach your zip, and that will be it for this beautiful gown. Okay, Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for taking out your time to watch this tutorial, and I hope that it was very educative and informative. So if you have any question, as I always say, you drop it at the comment section. Okay, thank you guys for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and also turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you guys. Bye.